I was your for na mo say for today's agenda and to us Nyankopon adaro me na eda foforo why adom ama eda foforo akwa betue na dey na ekoso Ghana said the bia me kano Ghana wa akono e won say ye ba be a leader who is going to lead us na ya development kaneno nanka ye the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces na ye tuto e ho asem ene ye brain e adwene ho asem e na ye ka Ghana sabri baby e gina no panimfo mienu e na abato no gina won so Ora John Dramani Mahama and his excellency our vice president Dr. Mahmoud Baomi panimfo mienu hwan e na ye gidi say do mention en saso omwa emampuntuo mbra developing country afi ne develop hwan ne do mention en say ye we nom na was a guardian e wa bato aye kwa akoto no ye na Nyankopon ase ne panimfo am no mbedi nkomo no omo aye krado na ne yekoso omra hye badwafie Nkoye kra from the minority side and they almost my majority omo na eka o nti o kira nyame ya adom be kwa kwotena ba bia majority for tena ye be pe constitutional lawyer bi na ene no adi eho enkomo kai na no so hye no so fa mame eno pa ho a ye be hwe other issues ekoso Dr. Mahmoud Baomi of Volta region na ye ka say okohwe ne ekoso of Volta region a wa obeji atum se ne Ghana sesa obia pempuntuo enti Voltarians so say His Excellency the Vice President to lead is to solve na waboabo an ho se wo ba die no mo nso omo geno awa tu keje si akwaba
Gramfa
boko die
that's it anyame adom
okay
oba de adaroma mo je die mo afisane de na asidam kuto ne edbe manyame ampacho mo so
ye ho ye
na men koso endawase because you are one person pinimfo nipa dodo bebreba on mining the two platforms so no mo hwese de bia mo bobo mo chidom o masitra mu adwuma bi o mo ye campaign ma nya so no nyina mo bu ye chidom me kai say me cultural law exams de bia da na obusame na men so ncha de say real law school no mu
ye da nyame ase
nti sisi akabre ene nkwa
ebeye it shall be well
me that's pa in fact na two de mo boa o man fe mo boa o fa aboaje o fa Solomon Sasumensa fa focus mo adwuma mo de asom MPP amonyoko ni ni pampempem no Yankopon kuto na betimi ehira mo
that's pa keje si won so aseda ye odia UK chair akwaba
amofo mejuso o de mi nua no
wo fake
me tia o papa abusuafo no ho ye de
boko na won so aye
ano pe me tia on kaze o bubumu
yeguso
nyame hira Ghana da wasi
yeguso
me ho so aye fe
I feel say your mind na ye chichire ano pe na me frɛ yi me ame ofa Maxwell Opoku Agyeman in fact Maxwell Opoku Agyeman men nana me maame e maame wuye no ono ni nua ba e na betena yon se ya no ho ade no abetena behwe ne nananom saa fo enti me friend of aprekope
so e nyina
ye
okay nice meeting you so the first time
na me catch sense of e your mind na ye chichire mente the minority for no ye no ase but sometimes we be say sia as say nyabo training yesua de ebinu ma fa we mu for over 40 years UK no money ade no 400 years o ma come nim pa we ma yen fa fe ne yen 32 years ba buga no de minority for no o mo ye careful na nya de e fa kejasi bibi kakra na menko of a case so na fe on twa ne tewansa na of ya ban so adwane kejasi ko anim kakra
anti mofa ene mecha Ghana fo nyina na se de wo ka no asem na eda ho ene no me koso parliament no esi nya butre pa na ye chichi mu Ghana for eden etiase because e very delicate said the potokasa no beka no den ena aba oman Ghana no ye demra ene chichi oman Ghana efi say ye wo kabima min kabi amamuomu democracy nso no de eyemra nko na ye fe bibi constitutional supremacy and ye fe bibi parliamentary supremacy and our sovereignty. Ghana no ye practice the presidential system of government enti ye republics because ye to abayi nipa baako so ondi yanim near the executive powers amano and ye what arms of government ye what the executive the legislature and ye what judiciary. Now on my Ghana as republic we believe in constitutional supremacy. Then I say chere. Se biara ye ewo oman mu hase no. Ye de emra pon no na ye den eye adwuma. Enti de emra pon no ka no eno na ese obiara eye ho adwuma. Uko UK omo practice parliamentary system of government. Enti omo wo parliamentary supremacy. The parliament canon and then a yaho. But Ghana the entesa Ghana the emra pono canon and then ye den ye. Into OSHA article 1-2 a chrim pefe say Ghana mra pono si chen emra biara eni ni biara.
Not just a metiwasia near air cosway, near also be adding an issue and a yamra pon constitution.
Yes.
You are home memoir about it twas so of a key.
Yeah.
At the end I do through UK about Ghana.
Na me anim ne ya ba se ya ba na ya ba beboa adwuma ya ye you say ya bro you see mu nyene free 1992 crowd me crowd na me polling agent de ba ya ba do hwe ba bia president Kufuor to ho na fe Kufuor be fa se no yi na yes da bia be san ba bia mi e ko na ni breso pa 2012 2016 mienu and only the hardest part now we share kukuhwi ase aye di ye ni titru pa ye bruchefo e dey support ma yetimi ba 2016 nanado ye nanase we wa mu ye ni mu ase niam ni bi wo hono mu a sabi Uganda fo ni nipa wa ma no ne kra dodo na fo se bia na nka watoto no different nka beboa eno no challenge stay e da ho but overall in building the system, agencies in terms of our institutions, our roles, our education, the security, transport system. Now, acquire cars in Namsonia affairs and was at Metro Mass Transit here. For example, for the buy SSA, railway system. Add that whole real our bus or trust or bus setting up. Even though you know rails in this is what coaches is why Juma dear. But a Juma why no so the trooper media here me pa and to na Mabagana a free senior high school.
Okay.
If it's a move out here, Sabio
and school
so once you are there and come to me and near Jumaya, or Burton be anyone more and you're the first and Babette Miakotna. TV show and radio show now we presenter and as say etimi kraton sa friends e kona ko kasa krama ya na e friend free the obata bia hwehwe and say ne ba betumpom enti saa die no nko anti kra no medam na na say etu na mo ne ba maba mi nyanko e krani me wo hakakra
very well ma memo akwa aba sonko one onua mo bae sonko kwan so e ma mo akwa aba na enne de me be introduce uma o manfo say UK MPP ne fen wo ho no wonom chairman me fa ofa K na obi ade nim no na ye mo akwa aba so free ochina ekro no me giri se nkomodie no e beto aso e wo TV radio boiling point na bia SSF bia no e beto aso nti on behalf of your team dey mo akwa aba
me na mo se na also cross so ma me mo aba so chese se ne nyame M5 Euro Kwabna of a keke currency Okoyin boiling point. Send was here Jinamu. I remember the first year Ubiano na me buy and not tension now I could feel it say Ned only in a net safe dinner so na Kobana say Yakwaba break keke na akukudrona unyamedia be show muno any one team no and send him must assign a connected back and I realize that you see a Ghana Africa Ghanaians a war a manonini na back Omakuma air tom we kranka kraba could cry sanga cracker and yabe mo modern na o ma yokudrum sham papa
that's for comment of a my no as of a K MPP ne fen wo UK no eche na enen ye wo parliament nti ato yensa e de afre ofayaba ya obana o constitutional lawyer na yetumi ene no atoa enkomo no so nti obekae na wa hye no so e de amame se of our baby do a bed of a chaos, a break any mono, Majidi said, Brano, Yanni Womo Ebeshia, any UK phone in near to me a share, man, come a bo, and any honor at Wasso. But, Kajas young son of our Babetanasi, young queen,
and Untino, Osha, on my Ghana, Constitution on the under Article 129. And now, Sisian also no. The Ecoso Parliament, no, Yura, SK Babe, na me person use and cry as my conclusion, but me the best chance here. Or ya agin no home, I mean, I be our man, if you say. The infamous ascendancy to the seat of the speakership on Yina Yenim. I hear and Guase among my Ghana. And to make credit, every individual would have expected, say, or no speaker. SK Babendienka at any given opportunity and that time could be biano can also ultimately restore the integrity of Parliament.
Okay.
But I said, normal way from HSA, he's in to do party politics, nothing more, nothing less, at the expense of our democracy, the integrity of Parliament, and then say a man of some a better. And na ya dear na aba amofa ade aba ne say one nipa ko bia omote city so as parliamentarians I declare my intention say in 2024 elections in yakoto a omo be contest as what independent candidates now omo contest as independent candidate omo person omo ba in the next government and in the next parliament as what independent candidate and now who speaker we gina ho aka say based on 97.1 G and H, meaning say or vacate or more seats, but already 97.1 now. And Chesa and akufo-addo do madrene or Montia Sena Eden Abemu. And Nuntino, before Sena watch your chair Munubeshasiano. I beto just say minority any speaker age na quantum crowback. And majority are you Ralph and no markings down. Any other element of parliamentarians who feel said no 97 no I give it different meaning and only problem no na emrapona ye de chichiro man Ghana say term bia your provision and na emre bia amount for the rivalry meanings and our rival meanings are then atoso o ka we mean so me ka we no e Supreme Court nkuto na betimi den a chirechiri mu. So the jurisdiction or authority to interpret the law is within the bosom of the Supreme Court. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, the Ama Speaker Kradia Wayano Eya Dia Bo on Mino Eha Parliament and say when on the Thursday he wanted to declare those seats vacant, or say I own himself court. That means he has acknowledged notice.
Okay.
Also himself or court. Okay. And court by interpretation, but on no dear. Nentias here are a 197 1G no and 1H ne say per the notice of polls are at forcing a yina sutre say is a publishing notice of polls and you say 4 individuals baako switch say or independent you deputy speaker. Second deputy speaker, Honorable
Former MP.
Yes, former MP. But switch says Sisiana no independent. No. Next parliament, or person as MPP candidate. MPP candidates 2 parliamentary. Your friend said members of parliament 2. Suhum and your friend is saying Swedru.
Okay.
Cynthia Morrison, Honorable. Also, declare some person who free MPP back into the next government, and our parliament as what independent. And I'm Memphis Central so. Or one can send the panel so co-independent NDC and also no or switch it. And to no say those people have vacated their what offices and our seat. And who as a speaker on the Thursday no you took a jurisdiction and ran a mouse to minister.
Was he giving an information to Parliament and now said now it was a ruling what I say was emphatic say
it was a ruling and then he made it very emphatic, not information. To make a student of law, I have a very big problem with what he did because already 97 1GH now. Say any member on my grounds of why I will sit bit my head are vacant. And to say, oh, switch camps, oh, cross the carpet, free party back, oh, party for. Now, party now, Dina, so am I to Obama on web free muko another one. And I say, oh, yes, over quantum crow in the next one. Now, person remaining in parliament as independent. Yet you came there as what? A political party personnel. And no, and a bemwire then, wavakiti. One can go baby, I say, speaker, and a bed then, a bed determines, say, Obiavakitiana. But interestingly, who read the Constitution in 99? Maybe I'm a brand I'm reading Ghana food nanti ase. Article 99 echre nipako ana institution what to me say obetimi declare a seat in parliament as what vacant. And 99 it says that it is only the High Court. 99 say determination of a membership in parliament. The High Court shall have jurisdiction to hear and determine any question whether a person has been validly elected as a member of parliament or the seat of a member has become vacant.
We know you are doing our constitution.
The constitution can be a member
as a student of law, we know you are doing our because interpretation the Supreme Court on Kwana, to me so yes, and you won't hear a crana or per se,
and not the constitution can say, and not Daniel Speaker, if he needed to act in good faith.
Because me will be Samia clearly say will be cross carpet or Tehano or Koha, Yafini, they call High Court on coach Wafakiti, and once I'll be free a Wavakiti. And she near a course or no, still no, conclude mamma, and
me concluding. Dear Amofame can say 99 actually say it is only High Court.
Okay.
But even the court with the assembly, say ye Supreme Court, say ye Judicial, your friend is a High Court, say ye any lower court. Na issue of interpretation. Ebemupe. I say ujai bibia na yekosiki the proper and clearer interpretation of the law. And sanya baba betwaso. Inti diamagana for both speakers obo. No bia de the ACA no aswano. And they say, before you made the declaration on the Thursday, you were notified duly, say, sub provision of 97(1)G and H, no. Yebra Afrino markets the court. I'm a court ACK interpretation and the true meaning of that provision. And to say, oh, pesa oya o mine ye, na omasum Vietnam Parliament, ne bikaye nana. As an honorable Speaker of Parliament, in good faith, what you say is say, I bet to when him notice of post aba, we know these individuals, but our court no, never be church 97(1)G no, any H no, the etiapoti because me, okay, so when the person has the intention seeks to remain in Parliament, meaning say a futuristic, into the next Parliament near best set after 2024 December elections, no. So person na quantum cry, then no I then we abdicating the seat.
But I say Jesse, first mammy, Messan Bow should be over Baba.
Yeah, no, honorable.
Boko dear. Yeah, the young couple has said, you're too and suffer while joining a constitutional lawyer. Near course for Parliament. In fact, why a parliamentarian? Da. Your constitution, ne other draft to be brave or no more. Or never come yourself, prempe, ye mu free more and ye. Enti eba ni se na ho be hia se anopa na me kankyere ofa maso pokwa adwuma se ye ka bi ma me nka bi afi ni nyini ebi no over 400 years yenso afi ni ashase enti me for me ni a speaker here na me pepa ni a Supreme Court aka no so me pepa we disagree to agree ye nyina na ye nya ba bi de to next time na ye kwa animu ano na ye nsan enkwa echi enti aya adwento atoa na ye nyina ye to atoa. But one more person of the Buga firm to say the NDC for no yen, and no, Maminti on the course on the now.
Oh, no, we needing camera chief watching. And somewhere appear air de pa Ghana is a constitutional, a chess ye coye, pa Argentua and Nema. Now, honorable, from the onset, my cousin with a Misaka view, Ghana form for a yard call. The nature of the constitution I want is a novelty. The novelty, first of its kind. So it is the interplay. So integration and operation of our customary law, that of the English customary law, and decided cases by the higher court, starting with the High Court and the Supreme Court. That is, cases decided by the superior court. Nemiensa, and a kabonwa, ye be a pay. It's over 1992 constitution. He has spelled out everything. But I said, yeah, my restriction is I am reading. A free Edward Nena, what you have Edano, if you are that. And then now, between the courts and the Parliament of Ghana. Also, on Monday or Tuesday, and a former minority leader, lawyer, former minority leader, Haruna,
okay.
And now, court to say, now, Yenuanum bear 9, so far, or my Emra Pon Kessia no air constitution, as a 97 1 general, woman violate, say, a biatro margin say, one more contact crow, a being so, almost don't move about party, a majority party, and about me and son at the Omoko contact cross, or the party dean and a bar parliamental. And Supreme Court, ma, as I say, you know, Yendiclare almost no vacant. And no more names and answer so. Yenia Fenyo market here, or leader, lawyer. Once you 2 Miracco, Supreme Court say, Supreme Court near Maba, Monsumu interpret Sir Article 97 1G, no proper meaning. One of the two actions seeking the same one thing. Supreme Court, Omo no the Baza, Ampa, Yedicano, Enipanano, Womo, advocate, Nelso, Owina Metro. Yeke Afenyo Ayena. Onosu Osiki set aside. So, yes, set aside. Just a young man said pending, no, a state of execution. And then honorable Afenyo, at the core, say, Ampamwa Jatu, but moon state that execution. Nimia Nuna, a papa. Na esi say ya, Mumia Musa will say, a DNA sinra, and then a be a age so. Parliament, a speaker, and a preside over hem of affairs. Now, so, offer my son, my student Jesse, law student. Actually, say, Oko Article 99, no. Actually, say anything with regard to vacancies. What we know, it is interplay. 1, the role of the Electoral Commission coming under CI 120, plus that of the lowest of the superior court, that's the High Court. Omni declare this thing. Now, what shall the course be in person made digress in here? In Pempi Parliament, anything with regard to interpretation, it is the preserve of the Supreme Court. And unti anke senior babe, menene yagre, but you just give lateral decision or whatever it is, opinion. Because he's a seasoned lawyer and experienced lawyer. Say a womusa, somebody adiana betrumen him. As a mature parliament, yagre you could see because there has been precedent. And unti me jinaso sampa mo vacated. Nebom, it is not finality. A speaker, that my decision is not a finality.
It was just a mere information. I know they my parliament.
Whatever it is, it's a decision of parliament. Okay. He presides over the hem of affairs. So once it's a decision, that's so far as he is concerned. And he went far to quote from his senior brother, Professor Michael Quay, of president that took place at the time when MPP won majority. No, and the Emrano Mekanene, my great professor, my former teacher, he held in law for having gone to properly interpret why the current third speaker of parliament, SNC, at that time, before 2020, no. Honestly speaking, it was a bad decision. He shouldn't have gone ahead to interpret that. He has aired and those things. That was the preserve of the High Court to declare.
Maybe was it a constitutional decision or take here?
Oh yes, he took a decision.
Or veer into baby and
God, yes. It was the preserve of the superior court. And this superior court, I'm talking of the High Court that has the power to declare a vacant seat after having been notified by the Electoral Commission per a CI 120. Then the second is interpretation of the action. And that is the preserve of the Supreme Court. This one is the interplay of the two. maybe we declare a seat to be vacant. If not, because if in High Court to declare, obi invoke ATM say it has come to Supreme Court.
And when I was Electoral Commission informing High Courts for that.
What that's not about make up. With the greatest respect, I'm saying because the matters are pending before the most superior court of the country. Sir, where they say yajitum, but stay of execution. Honorable Afenyo, yajo di anusuatum. The Afenyo the reasons. It was the Supreme Court has directed both Parliament of Ghana and that of the Attorney General to find the addresses.
What the minority here can say Supreme Court on so here the Parliament or Supreme Court need that to me, no.
Ma mention, and then I may be correct baby. So what here the statement, Minia Kwajoba, the Dimpa no Dr. Afufos Atufos, the Dimpa friend Kwajoba, and the name Kwajo, maybe the Susan and have it. Minister Wabbing, our finance. But law, no dear. While I have one on one, this woman do him more. Me can't the statement first say, or say, Parliament is fortified that the proceedings of Parliament shall not be impeached or questioned in any court. But one will say a one-way statement, but a continuation. Now can say Parliament will not be impeached in the course of their job, not doing their normal thing. Supreme Court also say Parliament are masters for their own action. But people are wondering, however, decision that they take is subject to
the Constitution.
Constitutional interpretation. Two, the action they took isn't in line with Constitution. We call it constitutionalism. And into me, mamu two clear-cut cases. Yeah, Parliament are making decisions that Supreme Court. The
Parliament and also a creation of the Constitution that created Parliament.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't mention so what a novelty Constitution. I'm using the word. People don't have their mind on this. That it was a deliberate action by the framers of the Constitution. Their vision was to allow the executive to override many other things. Supreme Court also, Judicial also rule. Strictly, yeah, any paper almost interpreted the Constitution here. No mark of any transfer as if Ghana is parring. Ghana's current Constitution is solely parliamentary system of UK system. No, totally out. Neither it is not also America. So they are partial of the two sides with our own, that is the customary law of this country, working alongside. It didn't say integration and operation of the three things. So when you make sure. And Parliament, almost me your word may be here, but the moment almost via of the road will be a Jumano. Constitution,
a moment a Juma no, and the Constitution and fan.
Aha, as for more than a territory. Mitchell will be some Macassa case, around 2013-14. That time, I'm in Penny Kwame or Cypress, one and former Attorney General, I'm a chamber of legal, but a bar opposition, year before subsidiary. Who's a subsidiary in law? No, you wrote to say a public accounts committee. That time, some mobile Damitabo case, a friend in Nitete or Primary and others. And when the call for creation of a constituency, those systems. Parliament, we ended up rewriting the easy on the article, Constitution Article 11.7. Say Constitution non-parliamentary but constitutional bodies a power to make laws the same thing like Parliament. So when I make sure it ebini easy ebini their organizations are there. They decide to minimum they don't need to come to Parliament to seek recognition. Law they say omunya publishing on the way in the 30 days 30 working days. Say Parliament will be a tier and answer more bogo. So many BBI here it passes. We can make amendment. It's no justice bedebe. Any lady spoke for the Supreme Court. Say you to me a share in the body, constitutional body. So omonya a juma to say Parliament in your headmasters. Omonya a GS director. No matter say this is good, this is not good, this is not no. Constitution has more power. It is such a Parliament here. It declared a Supreme Court declared that action by Parliament as unconstitutional. That is usurpation. Okay. So when I make wrong. Oh, but the same thing, we say as well. Superior Court also, led by Supreme Court. Any decision by Parliament would take care of to me to interpret those actions. So Obakaya, Judgments versus Republic, that was celebration of 31st by Ghanaians.
Yeah.
And the Supreme Court fight for, but Parliament, no more votes for continuation.
Yeah.
But when they challenge the proper interpretation of this, it has no place. The nature of the Constitution, no better than the Baah. Parliament is supreme, but not supreme.
Yeah.
So when because it is subject to interpretation.
This is where Uriah Baah, who is a constitutional lawyer, minority for now a press conference can say the Supreme Court can almost the woman almost.
Yeah, more can enjoy. Or Supreme Court to Qatar, even with the greatest respect, President Kuroma. Yes, when Supreme Court, they say all their things is stay of execution, and they are coming to offer their reasons. In Pempi, the matters before court.
What happens at the several speaker or the better money man? What happens?
It don't have. Let me honorable. My mentor will be you. My person may veer into the matter before the Supreme Court, but will be within beyond. My classicus. In Pempi, says Supreme Court. My judgment on issues of this nature. They look at two main factors. The first one is the issue of relevance.
But me say, Sabria minority for a press conference. Omunti don't be no. One is also put to order. Is this the speaker? Is this
the Supreme Court will be writing to them that the action now the mistake they are making. The Supreme Court has given orders to both the Attorney General who is representing MPP and the government, and that's not the Parliament. Now do come and VAR. The reasons why. Before me, but almost 7 days. Yeah. And to enter the 7 days, who brought up by mistake? You see, you need to be a law-abiding citizen. You went to the Supreme Court to be rescued. You went to the Supreme Court. Yes.
No more so almost my use siren. Use siren.
Yes.
No more sham round the Supreme Court
Yes. You went to Supreme Court for the rescue mission. He says, okay, what we are saying, per what is contained under Article 97 1J. But Supreme Court will back out. The reason why they've accepted.
Let's
and
come
the
to the interpretation. Take a decision.
They say,
go back to 2012 presidential election. And Niama Wosha, Omujina so take a decision. Take here.
Honorable, make us say 2012 any 20 we say no. Difference kakra ewu.
No. What can say one person be caught into the Supreme Court obey him? Tina me person.
I know you are not a step also by giving your opinion on this.
Okay.
Because honorable, many a times a judge over my judgment. The free be or better data. Or better data and I say young to farm. And so assembly by the men go. Because jurisdiction, senior me chairman, UK chairman better know can ye England and Wales, ye law in back, Scotland, ye back, also dear. Any attempt we a lawyer ni, now what matter before the court, now what transfer to home professional misconduct and a contempt of court. You mean in a burial. By had a now me Jennifer won't say, and call your lawyer you may want to answer matter before the court, especially the Supreme Court. That's why I know so I'm not a step, said me the margarine. No, but can't seem be true. What the assume making? It was a case in Uganda, and since it's a common law country, I'm quoting it, and it had to be relevant to the matters. Somewhere see that. It was Dr. Basije versus Republic of Uganda. What the judges who sat, that was Constitutional Court. They sat on the matter. Relevance on America will be honorable. What the Constitutional Court can say? Dr. Basije. Ya ye niema nyina say wo tableti eye bibia esa woni wapamfo ye dane akonwa no mamo nanso listen, the price that the nation will pay will supersede your few minority interests. Lawyers omuso ye nipa, judges omu ye nipa, ye tra oman cases so ye hwe ne ye do oman no beko edimu. Any Dutch or mind the bob bread any nebisi. Now the matter before the Supreme Court of Ghana. How many days are left? Constitution, CI, a guy a regular lesson. Yes, I was so many years to lessons. I can't no say. Into relevance, see a home here. Me catch up me judges in the Supreme Court no. But also you the so what in the meeting.
Okay, the own here na some the na dwen anya kra wonam na kai ba ohun se kai ba onko gina ka
kwesi. Say no be na meeting us one here Supreme Court of Constitutional Court of Uganda. What they said that the price that the nation will pay no supersedes. Say ya go. Yenya hwe kura me nuanu say
your friend 2012 o say ba dia ya di o man ya asem ya bedroi ya ura mahama eswaye a kwafe ba kwafe ni e be gia mamu asansan echi o me yanku ani
and you say ni aka dem pepe and at you me can say because Supreme Court will be cash about because me person me ko because Supreme Court will be cash e ho na Supreme Court be kire eniyema mu say
cause
Kafracho action here ye taking future conduct or conduct now.
Okay.
Say omoba omo do
busa say ade nkrofo omo say next parliament.
And the two, the difference between the current decision by Ojo, the difference between Professor Wayo's senior era and that the current era, difference in the new. Professor Wayoni sat in Parliament. That day I was in Parliament. He walked from the NDC on the left side to the right side and sat just adjacent majority leader senior Uzo Agyapong that I've renounced and I'm back to my house, my old house of MPP. So when I met you, it came from the horse's own mouth. So what you say? Now, because the Macron magazine Supreme Court here. They say here fana mame na mole ene
Omoaka
MPP for. Omo you must say where's the document to establish the fact? Here fa. And the krata abase. Omo MPP. And answer kwano so we NDC. Krata bi no, there's no evidence. They are mere words. But omo adwena omo ko kire electoral committee is an future intent. Future intent. Now, until say electoral commission will be publishing, gazetting that these are the people who have decided to go in this way. A non-starter, premature ejaculation. But my senior brother Kwaku Baah. Non-starter.
Or teacher or
oh yes, because you, honorable, as at now, His Excellency Bawumia, who is Oya number 1, His Excellency Mahama number 8. Young Gazette, we are waiting for the next, is it 10 or 11 days, for them to be publicized. When they are publicized, gazetted, then we say they are candidates. Until then, all the parliamentarians will be the parties have every right to change them.
They have.
Until they've been publicized, they've been gazetted, then you can say they are the people who are qualified to contest. So, and I make sure. And one more, you obey the Parliament. No, it is a mere intent of the future, but not now. Until the electoral commission, I did the list member, see against it, you publicize so. Where are the candidate?
Whether I say, KJC. I party for some why I'm bread do na more than why I'm bread and DC for a famoso na the piano what Kia famoso sanity.
And Tessa, but Sabia say. Patapa Putoni ya den ya demrana ya den and one na air cost no. Now before I will address that into details no, let me link it to the initial question of fire. But say a dear speaker here or chain opinion
it was just an information.
No, it was an orchestration. Omo plot or my planning and to make an article. There's a parliamentary coup d'etat. Ghana web because also o declare na minority for press conference. Sorry, say majority. Which is very dangerous and reckless because to me declare you are discussing bibia 99 no high court pen be declare and the kawu speaker crown no say or refer to high court say monko na yen hwese high court be den e chair position then no about be implemented. In any case, there's nowhere in the Constitution that says, Speaker, only parliamentarian. The fact that you lead Parliament in presiding over meetings, no, you don't take decision for parliamentarians. And to say, you see, a person vacates their seats or switch capital, and no one be decided. Court in be decided. And you know one. So it was a clear orchestration omo person omo ploto na aka na kakra bi a ye ba beto aba no omo use parliament no e dia ye NDC bidding na omo dia create some fear and panic e dia massage people's ego say I omo na ye den omo na contra first but it will never wash because said the okan no we in the MPP and in the majority caucus no we are bent on defending the country and the constitution. Are you aware say nyame ya do mechna sebi manoko kotwa but mentina ba bia nka say ade a yen ehun hia ade a yen pese e bedwene ho ensi parliament nyame ya do mechna but we have seen it before that on the 7th of January 2021 a cartoon abro na nke yenya president e wo mamu ase because na parliament so omotena se and sign a president ababi swai etima yin adwuma hwedo mo de afam anadu de suomu to the military came in. The military has the right. Mimi say kura no se echina ade koso na nya papa na etia omambra na constitution na ma mitumi I can enter to the parliament and ensure say the constitution is protected.
And this one says, you see quickly, NDC is saying that they want to bring a bill to parliament to cancel the betting tax, e-levy tax, and all manner of taxes. By so doing, they will try to do propaganda with it and let Ghanaians know that they have the better solution to Ghana problem. Okay, but that's it.
Exactly their game plan. So, and then two. They now offer you about okay, any examples no more making. Speaker Mike okay, honorable. Dear yes, constitutionally no, it is contestable. But why not the court? Obian fan court. So the difference now is that you are for your markings read in between the lines. And before say Speaker Babin Ebabe declaration no. Or the court seeking for interpretation. Etika who speaker the ye na no ade anka so ye anything obetwen because parliament enye closed book. Parliament enye supreme. Justice Abdullah versus AG. So case ne betro say parliament actions and inactions their decisions can be reviewed by the Supreme Court or the Judiciary, and it can be declared as null and void. And notina standing order 105. Say parliamentary the Baah. Say uye parliamentarian na you as deputy speaker. Na otina na ye take a decision na untimentu aba. What Supreme Court has done is say almost a sa rule no, and unconstitutional because ye to abama as a parliamentarian na. Your first duty is to ube decide ube to aba nti say parliament ye emra no ene emra pon we ebo ebra nti ade ye fru ho sana omanpanyi president is even under the constitution and the judiciary has the authority to tell the president to say the why no and na how much more parliament because obekaya 2020 covid ne ba ye no omanpanyi dem na bi ba ya na emergency utimi declare say men tu kwan men nante Professor Apiaje Tua the court to say illegal. Sa order na president here illegal court to jitu order president say sam ran here then illegal unconstitutional. So how much more say better Ghana na aka say parliament it's a closed book and it is overload of their own actions.
Recently, our Auditor General, Dom level case, Supreme Court key man penny and himself fast was an unconstitutional.
Yes.
Who is the Speaker of Parliament?
Namo a minority for my press conference and I say
a few messages. Many are concluding. I am sorry. So this current Parliament is technically dead. Since there's no any serious parliamentary business to be done with few weeks left for elections, I will encourage the MPP MPs to go to their respective constituencies to campaign in order to be maintained or retained. Let's leave the house for NDC MPs. Kwesi Reynolds Aguna Odoben Ena Odiwe by Sikabu says the NDC minority led by Babin should learn from what President Akufo-Addo did. After the final ruling by a Tuguba-led Supreme Court of 2012 elections, President Akufo-Addo said he disagreed with the court, but for the sake of the peace of Ghana, we should move on. Ora Benjamin Bosomprawa Agugba, he says, there goes, quote, coming event cast their shadows on, quote, the very embarrassing happenings in Parliament and the pronouncement of the Speaker declaring 4 seats illegal vacant was very unpleasant indeed. The Supreme Court did the right thing by legally putting an injunction on the Speaker's ruling This should tell the MPP that the election this year is going to be rough, and therefore they need to work harder and hard to win the 2024 elections. Thanks for the good work you are doing. Benjamin Bosomprawo Agbogwa, thanks for sending in this message. Okuseku says, when I was working in Ho years back, most people close to me told me in plain words that even though the MPP is good to them in terms of project and development, they wouldn't vote for the party during elections. But I think the situation is gradually changing for the MPP. The MPP must remain focused, and I'm sure this year will witness good MPP performance in the December 7th elections in the voter region. Okuseku Odamfa and or the way by one of my adman of Franco Trading Enterprise. One more boy na me kai wo se omo niam be bromo ton main office no adabraka on the rock cinema and the hwe ni mu. One more CCTV cameras. Come up install ma o phone so anasa or tablet so baby a onam bia say you adwuma mu fie utime monitor one more air condition smart TV phones ahodo a wonim CCTV camera and audio esan so video share no so fama me na kai say ko online na www.francotrading.com nsa ebe kombe ya no afre 0246 422 338 0246 422 338 9 francophone comodie no intimi nkoso ofa yanko anim kakra mebre no almost aso ano sa
we dey medema no ewie afutu a me be ma yenua NDC fo oman no asumdie ene oman yie ne nkankro tamo na mo pe proper interpretation ene mo di milika ko Supreme Court akwa ma Supreme Court say I ampa wo mo ne ye no mo ye ne de ene Article 97 Jena ebo ebra enunti emran say name second limb of their decision is say montreso na ye mekire ni ntira yaji atum.
They are not happy because almost say Afenyo marking call for 10 days injunction, but Supreme Court let's say until
no Supreme Court you omoma ruling no omo asemo omo de to aso ne say mama mo 7 days to file attorney general file and a parliament some file enti wo honorable unim court proceedings wo yes 7 days na be file we processes as an be free case you be say you know it cannot be 10 days only amateur he came in even for 10 days Supreme Court in its wisdom of exhausting the issue there's a need to extend the ambit with regard to the needs.
Supreme Court
can say NDC minuano mumpo we are all subject to the Supreme Court.
Everybody.
Supreme Court, they say MPP Supreme Court.
Judiciary, the three arms of government.
Parliament is NDC Parliament.
It's a 2 force in case ambulance case, Supreme Court declares until now, they won't me hold that 2 force. You know, NPP. And there's so many J. So,
at 2 force in Bushri.
Honorable. So, a better force. A ye a gunsley in a etikukum a ye. Then ye a vessel a Bibra. She say, you come out home quite say. They say, you almost said the levy, ye levy. They say, I was here on Bromo actually. Now, who are the people Ghanaians voted to lead this country? Ask yourself. The Ghanaians voted for MPP government. We are not talking about parliamentarians. You see, the mistake these people are making. Parliament is different from the governance, the executive. Why would I make sure? Ghanaians never wanted. They rejected His Excellency Mahama and others.
And will continue to reject him.
Who sponsored this bills which became an act? That of e-levy and others.
President.
It is the sponsor themselves. Yeah. They have to, not you. So what is your status quo?
From some the private member bill, the
private can't defeat the government.
It cannot.
It cannot.
Because
and the two, private member bill. The entire members of a certain area. But when the difficulty with the LGBTQ and others, we are opposed to. But it's a private, and there is likely this financial commitment by the state for such a thing. How much more make me a good one say, ye. And a judge serve you. One moment to a memo. Do they want chaos?
No.
You want the peace and the development of the nation. And to the amount try. This is the bad. We will be
Jesse, 1 minute.
Say the year about Miaka, or say you cannot sit in Parliament and manufacture majority seats. Conform na koyeduma magana for and to aba emamuna munja samote Parliament amuye gymnastics. Ye de enim pa se tumi no Ghana for the bemanya eye adwuma den eye nusu adhu eye ensam ye de beto omo so ene adwuma ya da na Ghana for the tumi bemanya and one year and I'm telling you on this platform say come 7th your friends in December 2024 elections and people will come out of this election with majority seats when they're controversial one in Parliament because you were from your Juma, your Ghana food in Komo. And that is what we will do. Now, 24-hour majority and back to your friends and minority there, and Juma. So they are tackling themselves. And every meaningful Ghanaian, any Ghanaian Bia or looking forward, so Omani Biano shall resist any oppression and then oppressors rule in Parliament, especially spearheaded by Baben and the minority. Because Omamu say no, Yen and a Ghana for the to me, I then, I say, sir, Yen, you won't right to say about Ghana for home buying near them, I then, I hear to
but as a case of a final question, or Bambabi or buy as speaker.
Why shall I be to know
for this 4 years?
You bet to know, I see it to know.
In fact, honorable, when we were special lady, and I make a Omani A. So, what since the 1992 Constitution, and you may be a Parliament has arrogated to you. What bring Constitution? Am I quite? It won't fit here. Yana become Ubio. Yan say, if we say a first past the post system of Great Britain. But you no street lane here apply. No American one. Me tell will be. Why we are if any honorable Babin Kumawu, a free just DF9 fishing expedition by Parliament instead of strictly complying with their core mandate of making laws. The entire metro has said, so say why especially who can say me who busami anything regard to senior Babin. Mr. Why Jumapa, but baby or yaje onoka because the last 4 years of Parliament of Ghana, they want to go and play the role of executive alongside their traditional functions. The tendency by Parliament to set up committees is unconstitutional and it has no basis because Mamitro or my one is the executive. They have got the competent people, the necessary equipment to do proper investigation and others. In my recent case, I attached as committee, involving the tape issue of the current IGP and whatnot. Remember, I said, by the day, even when we what is the legal impact of the agency? It's just mere talk shop because the executive has the power. They decide. You see, the mistake we are making now. It's unlike parliamentary committees. True, over PAC, that of public accounts. They have the power to hold people to before the courts. Any decision, committee, whatever, by Parliament, though they sit as status of High Court, their decisions are not implementable. It is subject to further decision by the Attorney General to decide whether this matter must go before the court. So now they become exercise in futility.
But I say,
it means so executive jobs no more, you know. They do pass here such a committee.
Kumawu and his constitutional lawyer. Thanks for coming. Okay, Jesse.
Yeah.
Utri and never know production team here now Solomon Sasu.
Okay, just keep it up. Why are they for
Kuabuaje
and
master control room ejano and justice. And I'm asking me, I'm a Fabu, I'm a channel.